Welcome back to another episode of 40 Facts About the 40K Universe. I am your host, Gersh1, and you are watching One Mind Syndicate. Today we continue talking about the planets of the 40K Universe. This time we're diving into the Eye of Terror, and we're talking about the planet of the Sorcerers. If you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We post Warhammer 40K content every single day. But with that said, let's talk about 40 facts on the planet of the Sorcerers. The demon world, known as the Planet of Sorcerers, officially named Sorcerers, is the current homeworld of the Thousand Sons Traitor Legion. The Planet of the Sorcerers is a demon world located deep in the Eye of Terror. With the fall of his original homeworld of Prospero to the Space Wolves at the start of the Horus Heresy, during the scourging of Prospero, the Primarch of the Thousand Sons Legion, Magnus the Red, used his sorcerer's powers in a final act of his pact with Tzeentch to transfer his beloved and infamous city of light, Tisca, through the warp from Prospero to a new planet, so that all of the precious knowledge hidden within his libraries that the Thousand Sons had gathered from all across the galaxy during the Great Crusade will be preserved. Sorcerers is a hostile home, even amongst the Marad worlds bathed in the energies of the Eye. All who dwell there live beneath a burning sky that steals all notion of night and day, with the heavens drowned in a swirling tormented chorus of the restless souls. Like Saturn in the solar system and the planet Kelsmar orbiting the white sun Clovo, both planets are haloed with rings of rock and ice, marking them out from their celestial brethren. Sorcerers has a similar ring, spectrally white against the tumultuous violet of the eye space. It was formed not from ice or rock, but from the shrieking souls. The Thousand Sons' exiled world is quite literally crowned by the howling spirits of those who have died by deceit. This world is wholly a demon world of Tzeentch, ruled by Magnus as its demon prince. It is dark, rocky, highly volcanic, and suffers from constant climactic turmoil and change. Its skies are scarred by relentless storms of warp energy. Towers thrust up from the rocks, jutting from the world's lava plains, twisted mockeries of what the City of Light once was in the years of the Great Crusade. Dwarfing all other edifices is Magnus's own tower, an obsidian monolith called the Tower of the Cyclops. The great, glowing eye of the tower watches over the planet, its gaze penetrating the warp into the material galaxy, beyond the borders of the Eye of Terror. This allows Magnus to sense the arcane artifacts and gifted psychers which fascinate him, so that he can dispatch his Thousand Sons through the warp to raid the Imperium of Man. When the Thousand Sons first arrived on the planet, they found it unpopulated. Over the millennia, however, the Thousand Sons have acquired tens of thousands of human slaves through their raids into real space. This has created a servant underclass on the world. The luckiest slaves on this planet will serve the trader marines as menials, cleaning and organizing their traders' quarters, and maintaining the fortress while the Thousand Sons are away. Some of these servants are allowed to learn basic incantations and spells. This works for the Thousand Sons, and that their private menials will be able to maintain their weapons and war gear and process messages. Most slaves are used as test subjects by the many sorcerers of the Thousand Sons. Spells that were originally created for other races must be tuned and altered to fit human bodies. Therefore, the many slaves that suffer from these unpredictable spells become mutated and live horrible lives, chained up and clinging to life as etheric energy courses through their bodies. Resurrection spells bring slaves back to their miserable lives, only to be killed by a spell created to cause the most amount of pain possible on a victim. A batch of slaves are used to experiment on spells to expand a human's mind, in the hopes of increasing the amount of spells that can be memorized. Human slaves with massive pus-filled craniums moan in pain as sorcerers probe their spell's progress. Some of these slaves escape their masters to eke out a miserable but free existence in the hostile land surrounding Tisca. These escaped slaves then joined the nomadic warbands that roam the planet of the Sorcerers' wastelands, and are led by both sorcerer champions of chaos from the Thousand Suns, as well as those chosen few of the Lord of Change, who have arisen within the ranks of the escaped slaves. Often these chaos champions are recruited from these nomadic warbands to serve the Thousand Suns. Over thousands of standard years, a large population of mutant beastmen have developed on the planet, forming a subordinate warrior caste for the Thousand Suns Legion. Beastmen are abhuman descendants from human stock, who combine the physical appearance of humans and Terran animals, usually goats or rams. While some of these mutants, specifically referred to by the Thousand Suns as Xenogors, serve various warbands, most remain wild. In temperament and as well as appearance, these abhumans are often beast-style, and possess a reputation for cruelty, aggression, and bad discipline. It is unknown if these Xenogors are descendant of the civilian population that came over along with the Thousand Suns when Magnus saved his world from total destruction, or whether they are warrior refugees that were accepted by Magnus after being exiled by the Imperium after the adoption of the Imperial cult. Among the roaming warbands on the planet, there are also Chaos Hounds, fierce and bestial demons with sinus, wolf-like form, thick-scaled hides, and a blunt maw full of sharp, shredding teeth. Little else is known of the other flora and fauna present on the world. The landscape around the fortress is influenced by the powers channeled by the sorcerers. These powers are constantly changing and altering the environment, making it very hard for anything living to thrive. In the wastelands, away from the Thousand Suns, the nomadic warbands fight for their lives in a battle of survival against warp-spawn mutant creatures. On most planets, the greatest of the warriors of these tribes would be chosen to join the ranks of the Thousand Suns Traitor Legion. But for Magnus's chapter, the ranks are filled not by the toughest of the nomads, but rather the wisest. Warriors that can out-trick and gain the upper hand of these horrific and unreal beasts will gain the attention of the Thousand Suns. A nomad capable of harnessing the raw psychic power that fills the planet and channel it as a weapon will be chosen to join the ranks of the Traitor Legion. And those were 40 facts on the demon world of the planet of the sorcerers. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's always fun to talk about a demon world. Tzeentch is one of those gods whose influence is really more seen rather than felt. So it's not like Korn where like things are dying everywhere. With Tzeentch, it's more about things moving, things changing, weird things happening, and I think that's really what's happening on this planet. If you guys want to learn more about Tzeentch, check out our 40 facts on Tzeentch, but I would also recommend, because this is a Thousand Suns video in a way, check out the rest of the Thousand Suns or the Rubric Marine story. It's really, really interesting to learn about the Rubric Marines, because they're not made of flesh and blood. They're really interesting, so check out the video on them. And don't forget to check out our 40 facts video on the Beastmen. There's a two-parter. The first part just explains how the Beastmen deviated from humans to be what they are today. And then the second one is actually Chaotic Beastmen, which talks about the Xenogorts, or Xenogoats, or I already forgot the name of the actual beastmen, but the ones that are specifically devoted to Tzeentch, which is what you see here in this planet. But check out that 40 facts video on the abhumans, and then just check out all the other abhumans, because it's something that GW was really pushing back in the day, back when Warhammer 40K first started out, because they were just copies of fantasy basically, and then now you're starting to see them pop back up in the lore, because I feel like the whole Age of Sigmar models are coming out with really good models that you could use somehow in the Warhammer 40K universe. Of course, the rules aren't the same, but the lore is coming out for all these old abhumans that existed in Warhammer 40K. So again, check out our 40 facts on the abhumans. If you guys have any other suggestions for other topics of Warhammer 40K, please comment down below. We check that every day, and we base our videos off of what you recommend. And yes, the tower that is Magnus's Red's tower is a direct inspiration from the Dark Tower from the Lord of the Rings with the Eye of Sauron, and it like just staring out into the void or whatever, or to the planet. So 40K has gained inspiration from Lord of the Rings for that tower. If you guys would be interested in me creating a 40 facts video on all the different illusions that are in Warhammer 40K, so whenever Warhammer 40K takes something from either the real world or takes it from another fictional world, comment down below and we'll try to create a video for that if you guys want it. Again, guys, thanks so much for watching, liking, and doing all that you do. This was Gershwin with One Mind Syndicate, signing out.